After pouring out her heart to Zagan, Nefi starts to cry, thinking Zagan is now ashamed of her. Zagan lets her know that he understands how she feels. Nefi has never been talkative, and her saying everything that was on her mind must have been pretty overwhelming for her. Nefi then asks Zagan if his hands still hurt, and this is when Zagan realizes that the pain is gone. Apparently, Nefi was the one who did it. When he touched Nefi, she healed him, and this made Zagan even more impressed with her powers. He thanks Nefi for the help, and this makes her face turn red. Zagan wonders why this is, and he asks her. She then reveals that this is the first time that Zagan has properly thanked her. Zagan is surprised by this because he has never put it to mind before. He apologizes for this, but Nefi says it is fine. She considers Zagan her master after all. Later that night, Zagan is preparing to sleep on his chair as usual when Nefi shows up. He is surprised to see Nefi, and he asks her if there is any problem. Nefi then asks Zagan if he will be willing to sleep with her. This question sends Zagan to another realm, as he starts to imagine what Nefi meant by this. He starts to imagine Nefi in her natural form, with the two of them together inside the room all alone. Nefi then walks close to him, letting him know that he is always sleeping on the chair, because there is only one bed in the house. Nefi wants him to rest his body, and not sleep on the chair. This is when Zagan realizes that the lady doesn't mean anything out of the ordinary. She is basically trying to care for Zagan and not something else. Zagan then humbly rejects the offer, forcing Nefi to bring about another option. She tells Zagan that he can actually sleep on her lap inside the throne room. Zagan is shocked to hear this, but knows he cannot turn down the offer. Zagan lays his head on Nefi's lap, and it feels very good to do so. Nefi lets him know that she is trying to thank him for allowing her to stay in the castle, but Zagan says there is no need for thanks because Nefi is already doing a great job. Zagan then asks her if she is interested in learning sorcery, and she says yes. Zagan could see that she had a knack for it from what happened earlier in the day. He doesn't know if she will be able to master this quite well, but he knows that it will be there to help Nefi defend herself. Nefi is excited to learn sorcery, and this is because she wants to use it to help Zagan. Once this is settled, Zagan tells the lady that she is now his apprentice. Zagan is happy to have Nefi as his apprentice because he has been looking for someone he can actually entrust his knowledge and everything he knows. Nefi then mentions the fact that Zagan looked sad when he was talking about his past. Nefi hugs his head, letting him know that he is not a bad person and will never forget the kindness that he has shown her. This gets Zagan very emotional, and he starts to wish that they can have more moments like this in the future. The following day, Barbatos comes to visit, and he comes with his usual enthusiastic self. He heard that Zagan was attacked by the Angelic Knights, and this is the reason he has come to check on him. Barbatos is even impressed with the fact that one of the knights is wielding a sacred sword. Barbatos asks Zagan if the Angelic Knight is strong, and he says yes. He says the lady was even able to break through some of the barriers he had around the castle. Talking about barriers, he begs Barbatos to stop rendering his barriers useless anytime he comes for a visit. Just then, Nefi shows up to serve them milk and sugar. Barbatos already picks up the cup to drink, and this is when it dawns on him that Nefi is the elf whom Zagan bought at the auction. He throws the cup away, but Zagan is able to catch it using his magic. He starts to wonder why Zagan hasn't used the girl for sacrifice just yet, but Zagan says he has no intentions of doing this. Barbatos then comes to the conclusion that Zagan is allowing the girl to leave as long as she is still able to serve him. However, Zagan lets Barbatos know that he is not him. Zagan clears the air, letting Barbatos know that Nefi is now his apprentice. Barbatos finds this hard to believe, but Zagan lets him know that there are instances where Nefi will come in handy. He starts talking about Nefi like she is an object, and this kind of makes Zagan angry. When Barbatos asks Zagan if Nefi was instrumental in chasing the Angelic Knights away, he says yes. Barbatos then realizes that the giant roots that are outside the house must have been her handiwork. Barbatos gets to the serious business, asking Zagan if he is after the Archdemon's seat, and he says yes. Zagan says the seat will provide the key to breaking Nefi's collar, which seems like a win-win situation to him. However, he doesn't have the belief that he can be chosen at the moment. Archdemons are sorcerers who have been practicing sorcery for hundreds of years, but when it comes to Zagan, he has only been practicing for more or less a decade. He considers himself not a match for those who are selected to be archdemons. Barbatos notices that Zagan might be getting attached to the girl, and he asks to confirm. Zagan doesn't deny this fact, asking Barbatos if there is anything wrong with him getting close to his apprentice. Barbatos says Zagan still has his humanity intact, and after saying this, he leaves. After his departure, Neffy addresses Barbados as Zagan's friend, but Zagan says Barbados is not his friend. Neffy begs to differ, pointing out the fact that Zagan actually seems happy when talking to him. This gets him wondering if this is actually true. It is time to fix the barriers around the castle, and Zagan tells Neffy to follow him, because this is a good time for him to teach her the fundamentals of sorceress circles. After this day, Neffy started learning sorcery, while attending to house chores too. Zagan starts to enjoy the presence of company, rather than the lonely life that he has always had. As time goes on, Neffy also becomes even more comfortable with him, and she expresses herself even more. As for her power, she is still having difficulties controlling it. The two continue living together, and before Zagan knows what is happening. They have been together for a month already. However, Zagan is still worried about the fact that he can't break the collar on Neffy's neck. One night, a giant bird with 2 heads shows up at the castle to deliver a message to Zagan. He opens the letter to find out that the 12 archdemons are calling for him. With this, Zagan heads to Chionides. It is underneath Chionides that the ruins used as a lyre by the late Marchosius lie. He enters the ruins, and while walking toward the altar, he starts to wonder what the archdemons might want from him. Just as he comes face to face with the 12 elders, the first sentence from their mouth hits him hard. The archdemons are surprised to see that Zagan is even younger than they thought. Just by talking to him, Zagan can feel the power emanating from the archdemons. He now understands why they are called the Apex Sorcerers. Zagan clears the air by asking the sorcerers if he was called to the meeting just to be made fun of. He asks to leave if there is nothing tangible or serious that they want to discuss with him. The Apex Sorcerers are surprised that Zagan is not scared to talk back to them. Going straight to the point, Zagan is informed that he has been chosen to become the 13th Archdemon. The Archdemon's brand that Marchosius left behind is displayed, and this is going to be his once he accepts the title. The power from the emblem is so intense that Zagan can barely open his eyes to look at it. This made him realize that this is the kind of power that every one of them holds. He now understands why other sorcerers have no chance against this set of people. Zagan then lets them know why he is doubtful of taking up the mantle, letting them know that there are several other sorcerers who are more powerful than he is. The archdemons then let him know that there might be other sorcerers who are powerful than him, but there is no one who can actually kill him. The first sorcerer he ever terminated, who was known as Andras the Accursed, was a very powerful sorcerer, and Zagan ended him just when he was 8 years old. In addition to this, Zagan was able to learn the guy's power in an instant. The archdemons acknowledge his power, saying it will be disastrous if he ever decides to take power from others. They consider his power to take, and not to be killed, as the perfect power fitting for an archdemon. They know that he is going to become the most powerful sorcerer at some point, and this is the reason they want to make him an archdemon now, regardless of his status. Just then, Zagan mentions the fact that he can actually take from them if he wishes, and this makes the sorcerers laugh. The only sorcerer wearing a white cape lets Zagan know that they can actually take more from him than he can take from them. Hearing this makes Zagan remember Neffy, and he realizes that they can actually hurt just to get to him. The Apex Sorcerers then let him know that he is never going to have a normal life again, should he choose to accept the title. This is nothing new to him, because he has forgotten his normal life since the day he became a sorcerer. He knows that he has no choice but to accept the title, because he cannot say no to these people. However, he doesn't know if he can drag Neffy into this kind of life. The sorcerers await his answer, and he tells them that there is something he wants if they want him to accept the title. They ask him what it is, and when he tells them, they grant his wish. Once this is done, Zagan accepts the title of an archdemon, and he is also given his second name, which is presently a secret. After this is settled, Zagan returns home to find Neffy cooking a nice pot of stew. Zagan remains silent when he enters the house, and Neffy starts to wonder what might be wrong with him. Zagan then tells Neffy that he has become an archdemon. Neffy congratulates him on this new feat, and she is actually happy for him. It turns out that the thing he wanted in return for accepting the title is the key to breaking Neffy's collar. He walks close to Neffy and uses the key to break the slave collar around her neck. Neffy is very happy with this development, but the next thing she hears is Zagan telling her that he no longer has use for her. Neffy seems to black out after this, and when she wakes up, she realizes that she is no longer in the castle because Zagan sent her away. She falls to her knees when this reality dawns on her, but the surprising thing is that she doesn't even feel the need or the urge to cry. It is as if something in her accepted what happened to her and is ready to live with it like that.